Do you think you know something about Lionel Messi? No. What if I told you that Lionel Messi, the magician on the pitch, the record-shattering icon, almost never became the player we know today? Behind the breathtaking goals and countless trophies lies a story most people have never heard. A boy diagnosed with a life-altering condition, forced to leave everything behind at just 13 years old, and shouldering the hopes of an entire nation with every step he took. How did Messi transform from a fragile, shy kid in Rosario to the symbol of hope and greatness we admire today? And what secret struggles has he battled off the field that reveal a side of him we've never seen? Stay tuned as we uncover the untold story of Lionel Messi, the man behind the legend. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. On a crisp winter morning in Rosario, Argentina, June 24th, 1987, Lionel Andres Messi was born into a modest yet loving family. His father, Jorge Messi, worked at a steel factory, while his mother, Celia, balanced her time between raising her children and working as a part-time cleaner. Lionel, affectionately called Leo, was the third of 4 siblings, growing up in a home filled with warmth, laughter, and a shared passion for football. Rosario, a city known for its vibrant football culture, would unknowingly become the birthplace of a legend. From the moment Leo could walk, he was drawn to the ball as if it were an extension of himself. His family's backyard became his first stadium, with siblings and cousins often playing impromptu matches that tested his budding skills. By the age of 4, his talent was already evident. It was no surprise when his grandmother Celia took him to join his first local team, Grandoli FC. She believed in his potential even before the world knew his name, often accompanying him to matches and cheering the loudest from the sidelines. Her unwavering support became one of the pillars of young Messi's journey, and he would later credit her as the inspiration behind his passion for football. Leo's early days at Grandoli were marked by moments of pure joy and raw skill. Despite his small stature, his footwork, speed, and uncanny ability to read the game set him apart from other children. Stories of him weaving through defenders twice his size became neighborhood lore. It wasn't long before he moved on to Newell's Old Boys, a renowned local club where his talent began to flourish. Known as part of La Máquina del 87, the Machine of 87, a youth team celebrated for their dominance, Leo dazzled everyone with his creativity and goal-scoring prowess. By the time he turned 8, he had already scored hundreds of goals, earning a reputation as a child prodigy. Yet life for young Messi was not without challenges. At age 10, his world was shaken by 2 profound events. First, he tragically lost his beloved grandmother, Celia, whose absence left a void in his heart. Her memory, however, became his motivation. Every goal he scored was dedicated to her, with Leo often pointing to the sky in her honor. Soon after, he was diagnosed with growth hormone deficiency, a condition that threatened to derail his dream of becoming a professional footballer. The treatment was expensive, and his family's financial situation made it difficult to afford the necessary injections. Despite these obstacles, Leo's determination never wavered. His family rallied around him, doing everything in their power to support his dreams. Jorge worked extra hours and extended family chipped in wherever they could. It was during these trying times that Messi's character began to take shape. A quiet resilience, a fierce work ethic, and a love for the game that burned brighter with every passing day. By the turn of the millennium, whispers of Leo's extraordinary talent had begun to spread beyond Rosario. Scouts and coaches marveled at his ability to dominate games despite his small frame. But as his talent grew, so did the challenges of financing his medical treatment. The question loomed large. Could a boy from a small city with big dreams overcome the hurdles life had thrown at him? Little did anyone know Lionel Messi was about to take a leap of faith that would change his life forever, paving the way for a new chapter filled with both hope and uncertainty. Chapter 2. The Move to Barcelona. In the year 2000, Lionel Messi's life took a monumental turn. At just 13 years old, he left behind the familiarity of Rosario for the promise of Barcelona, Spain. The decision was both exhilarating and daunting. FC Barcelona had offered to cover the cost of his growth hormone treatment, an opportunity his family couldn't refuse. With a suitcase full of dreams and uncertainty in his heart, Leo boarded the plane with his father Jorge, while the rest of the family stayed behind, hoping this leap of faith would pay off. The transition wasn't easy. Messi found himself in an unfamiliar land, far from the comforts of home and the warmth of his close-knit family. At La Masia, Barcelona's famed youth academy, he was surrounded by talented players from around the world, each vying for their place in football's future. Yet even among this elite group, Messi's talent shone brightly. His dribbling, vision, and composure on the ball quickly earned him the admiration of coaches and teammates alike. Despite his quiet demeanor, his performance on the pitch spoke volumes. Off the field, however, the challenges persisted. Messi grappled with homesickness, often yearning for his mother's cooking and the familiar sounds of Rosario. The cultural differences and language barriers added to the weight on his young shoulders. But Leo's determination, paired with his father's unwavering support, kept him focused. He immersed himself in training, channeling his emotions into his game. Slowly but surely, he began to adapt, finding solace in the friendships he built and the opportunities that lay ahead. By the time he turned 14, Messi was already making waves within the academy. Coaches whispered about his potential to one day play for the first team, a dream that seemed closer with each passing day. His growth, both physical and emotional, was undeniable. But even as he dazzled on the pitch, Messi knew this was only the beginning. What lay ahead would test his resilience and redefine his journey, as the boy from Rosario prepared to step onto the grand stage of professional football, where legends are made. Chapter 3. The move to Barcelona, 2000 to 2003. At just 13 years old, Lionel Messi's future seemed uncertain, marked by a small frame and a condition that threatened to derail his career: growth hormone deficiency. Yet the dream of playing professional football burned brightly within him. And in 2000, an offer from FC Barcelona presented an opportunity that would change his life forever. Messi's journey began when his father Jorge took him to Barcelona's famed La Masia Academy. The talent Messi displayed at such a young age was undeniable, and the club immediately saw the potential in him. But there was a catch. Barcelona, understanding the financial constraints caused by his medical treatments, decided to cover the cost of his treatment in exchange for his commitment to their youth system. This gesture set in motion a path that would elevate him from a small boy in Rosario, Argentina, to one of the most revered figures in football history. Relocating to Spain was a massive change for Messi and his family. At 13, Messi left behind his home, friends, and everything familiar to pursue his dream. The challenges of settling in a new country, learning a new language, and adjusting to European life as a teenager were immense. Yet Messi's determination and natural ability made the transition smoother than most could have imagined. In the confines of La Masia, Messi was surrounded by some of the best young talents in the world, and it didn't take long for him to make his mark. His time at La Masia was a whirlwind of development, as Messi quickly adapted to the fast-paced, technical style of European football. His skills on the ball, vision, and creativity set him apart from his peers, and it was clear that he was destined for greatness. By 2003, Messi had secured a spot in the senior team's training sessions, his dream of representing Barcelona now within reach. The boy who had arrived in Spain with nothing but hope was now on the verge of becoming part of one of the greatest football clubs in the world. Chapter 4. Rising Star, 2004 to 2007. Messi's first taste of senior football came in 2004, when at just 17 years old, he made his debut for Barcelona's first team. The world watched in awe as the young Argentine stepped onto the pitch, showcasing the skills that had already made him a standout at La Masia. His debut match against Espanyol was just a glimpse of what was to come, but it was clear that Messi was destined for something extraordinary. In the years that followed, Messi's talent blossomed. 2005 was the year he truly arrived, scoring his first official goal for Barcelona in a match against Albacete. That goal was a moment of magic, a deft finish that revealed Messi's ability to excel at the highest level, his place as a rising star. By 2006, Messi had become a regular feature in Barcelona's first team. His performances were a breath of fresh air, quick, elusive, and full of creative flair. In that season, Barcelona went on to win the UEFA Champions League, And although Messi was sidelined due to injury during the final, his role in getting the team to that point was undeniable. His vision and playmaking were integral to the team's success. As Barcelona secured their first La Liga title in 2005, with Messi contributing with key goals and assists, it was clear that the young Argentine was evolving into a true force of nature. His bond with players like Ronaldinho, Deco, and Samuel Eto'o formed the backbone of a team that would go on to become one of the most dominant in the world. Messi, still a teenager, was becoming a household name. His dribbling, pace, and innate understanding of the game had already earned him comparisons to the greatest players in history. He wasn't just a promising talent anymore. He was a star in the making, ready to lead Barcelona into a new era of success. Yet this was just the beginning. Messi had already shown the world his ability, but what lay ahead would go far beyond anyone's wildest expectations.
Creating this video was a labor of love that took us weeks, even months, of dedicated research to bring you the best insights. We hope you find it valuable and informative. If you do, we'd greatly appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, leave a comment, and share it with others. Your encouragement means the world to us and helps us continue.
Chapter 5. A Year of Records. The year 2012 was a turning point in Lionel Messi's illustrious career, considered possible on a football pitch. This was the year he shattered Gerd Muller's 40-year-old record of 85 goals in a calendar year, setting a new benchmark with an astonishing 91 goals. Each match seemed to unfold like a masterclass, with Messi demonstrating not only his goal-scoring prowess, but also his ability to orchestrate plays, assist teammates, and leave defenders spellbound. His consistency throughout the year was unparalleled. From domestic league games to international matches, Messi displayed a relentless hunger to contribute to his team's success. One particular evening in March stood out when he scored 5 goals in a single UEFA Champions League match against Bayer Leverkusen. The Camp Nou erupted in disbelief and awe as Messi made history once again. He played with an elegance and ferocity that transcended the game, captivating fans and critics alike. Off the pitch, Messi remained as grounded as ever. He attributed his success to his teammates, coaches, and the unwavering support of his family. In interviews, he spoke humbly about his achievements, always emphasizing the collective effort over individual glory. His humility only added to his charm, making him a beloved figure not just in Barcelona, but around the globe. However, the year was not without its challenges. The demands of maintaining peak performance took a toll on Messi both physically and mentally. Opponents grew increasingly aggressive, desperate to neutralize his influence on the game. Yet Messi's resilience and dedication to the sport never wavered. He trained harder, played smarter, and continued to push the boundaries of his abilities. As 2012 drew to a close, Messi stood at the pinnacle of footballing excellence, yet he remained acutely aware that greatness was not a destination, but a journey. His eyes were set firmly on the future, on winning more trophies, breaking more records, and above all, continuing to play the game he loved with the same passion that had driven him since his childhood. And so as the curtain fell on a year of unparalleled achievement, the stage was set for another chapter, one that promised even greater challenges and triumphs for the boy from Rosario, who had become a legend. Chapter 6. National Glory and Heartbreak. For Lionel Messi, the dream of achieving glory with Argentina had always been deeply personal. By 2014, Messi had already solidified his position as a footballing icon, but the FIFA World Cup in Brazil presented an opportunity to etch his name alongside legends like Maradona and Pelé. Leading his nation as captain, Messi carried the weight of Argentina's expectations on his shoulders, a responsibility that fueled his determination. The tournament began with Messi at his mesmerizing best. In the group stages, he delivered crucial goals, including a last-minute stunner against Iran that showcased his ability to rise in the most critical moments. His creativity and leadership guided Argentina through each knockout round, culminating in a hard-fought semi-final victory against the Netherlands after a nerve-wracking penalty shootout. For a nation starved of World Cup glory since 1986, Messi was the beacon of hope. The final against Germany was a clash of titans. The Maracana Stadium in Rio de Janeiro buzzed with anticipation as Messi led his team onto the grandest stage of them all. Despite flashes of brilliance, the match remained deadlocked deep into extra time. Then came the heartbreaking moment. Mario Götze's goal for Germany in the 113th minute sealed Argentina's fate. The dream of lifting the World Cup slipped through Messi's fingers, and as he stood on the pitch after the final whistle, his disappointment was palpable. Despite the heartbreak, Messi's performances earned him the Golden Ball Award for the tournament's best player. Yet for Messi, individual accolades were no consolation for the loss. The image of him walking past the World Cup trophy during the medal ceremony, head bowed, became a poignant symbol of unfulfilled dreams. However, Messi's resolve remained unbroken. In his heart, he knew the story was far from over. As Messi and his teammates returned home to Argentina, they were met with overwhelming support and pride from their fans. The World Cup had rekindled the nation's passion for football, and Messi's journey with the Albiceleste was not yet complete. There were more battles to fight, more dreams to chase, and a destiny still waiting to be fulfilled. The next chapter of Messi's life would not only test his resilience, but also reveal his unwavering commitment to his country and his love for the beautiful game. Chapter 7. The Golden Leader, 2015 to 2019. In the years that followed his rise to footballing greatness, Lionel Messi embraced his role as both a leader and a symbol of his time. 2015 was a year of transition for Barcelona. As the club's all-time top scorer, Messi's influence on the pitch was undeniable, but it was his growing leadership off the pitch that began to shine through. The weight of expectations, both from his club and from Argentina, now rested squarely on his shoulders. Messi's leadership at Barcelona during this period was defined by more than just his goals. With every season, he evolved into a captain whose presence galvanized his teammates, on and off the field. His work ethic was second to none, and his humility in the face of success made him a respected figure, not just in Spain, but around the world. Under his guidance, Barcelona continued to thrive, capturing another La Liga title in 2015 and securing the Champions League in 2015 with a thrilling victory over Juventus. It was a moment of reaffirmation. His journey with Argentina was a different, more emotional one. For years, the national team's heartache in major finals had defined his international career. Yet the Copa America in 2015 and 2016 were different. Messi led Argentina to the finals in both tournaments, each time falling short, with the sting of defeat even more profound in 2016 when they lost to Chile in a penalty shootout. The agony of these near wins was raw, and Messi, though praised for his performances, found the weight of those losses unbearable. In a moment of deep reflection, he briefly announced his retirement from international football, a decision that shook the world. Yet Messi's heart for his country was unbreakable. His passion for Argentina never waned, and after a brief period of contemplation, he returned to the national team with renewed determination. As a leader, he knew that his journey was far from over, and that his legacy with Argentina would be defined not by his individual brilliance, but by his ability to lift the team when it mattered most. Amidst these personal milestones, Messi continued to break records and set new standards. He became Barcelona's all-time top scorer, surpassing the likes of Cesar and Eto'o, but it was the shift in his role as captain that truly marked his growth. He no longer led just by the brilliance of his feet, but with his heart, his resolve, and an unwavering belief in his teammates. Messi was now not only a footballer for the ages, but a leader for the history books. As 2019 came to a close, Messi stood at the pinnacle of his career. But there was still one thing he yearned for, one challenge that had eluded him, a trophy with his beloved Argentina. And the dream, as always, was just out of reach. Chapter 8, Copa America Redemption, 2020 to 2021. For Lionel Messi, the Copa America was always more than just a tournament. It was the final frontier, the one accolade that had slipped through his fingers year after year. His heartache in the finals of 2015 and 2016, when Argentina was defeated by Chile, seemed to haunt him. The pain of those losses was raw, and for a time, it felt as though the weight of Argentina's expectations would overshadow his career. But Messi, ever resilient, was not one to be defined by failure. In 2021, the stars aligned. The Copa America, held in Brazil, was not just another competition, it was Messi's last chance to redeem himself in the eyes of his country. The Argentine squad, led by Messi, had been formidable throughout the tournament, and the energy around the team was different this time. There was a sense of unity, of belief that had been missing in previous years. Messi, who had always carried the hopes of his nation, now seemed more determined than ever, not just to win for himself, but for every Argentine who had supported him through thick and thin. The final, a showdown against Brazil in Rio de Janeiro, was a battle of emotion, passion, and national pride. For Messi, it was the culmination of his years of sacrifice and devotion. And in the 22nd minute, it came, an exquisite assist to Angel Di Maria, whose delicate lob over the Brazilian goalkeeper gave Argentina the lead. It wasn't Messi's goal, but it was his moment of brilliance, his vision, his leadership, his selflessness. As the final whistle blew, the weight of the years of near misses finally lifted. Argentina had won the Copa America, and Messi, his face etched with both joy and relief, sank to his knees. The tears that flowed were not just those of a champion, but those of a man who had finally fulfilled his destiny with his national team. He had broken free from the shadow of past disappointments, and in doing so, had cemented his place in the hearts of every Argentine. The victory was as much a personal triumph as it was a collective one. Messi had given everything to Argentina, and in return, Argentina had given him the one thing he'd always longed for, a trophy that would forever solidify his legacy in the annals of football history. His redemption was not just in lifting the cup, but in the overwhelming joy of knowing that he had done it for his people, for the nation that had watched him grow from a young boy in Rosario to a global icon. As Messi lifted the Copa America trophy to the sky, the echoes of past pain were finally silenced. The years of disappointment had been replaced by the sweet taste of victory. But as Messi stood with the trophy in hand, one thing was clear. While this chapter had closed, there was still more to come. Chapter 9, PSG Era, 2021 to 2023. The summer of 2021 marked the end of an era for Lionel Messi. After more than 2 decades of unparalleled success at FC Barcelona, Messi, the face of the club, had to leave due to the financial turmoil that had gripped the institution. It was a moment of heartbreak, not only for Messi, but for millions of Barcelona fans worldwide. The emotional weight of his departure was felt deeply as the club's financial crisis stripped Messi of the opportunity to say a proper goodbye, leaving behind a void that would be impossible to fill. In the midst of this turmoil, a new chapter began in Paris. Messi signed with Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, a move that stunned the football world. The thought of seeing him in a different jersey, in a different league, was surreal. The transition was not without its challenges, and in his first season, Messi faced a period of adaptation. Ligue 1's style of play was different. The team dynamics were new, and PSG's ambitions, rooted in their quest for a Champions League title, were vast. While Messi still displayed flashes of his brilliance, it was clear that this was not the same Barcelona team he had carried for so many years. But even amid the struggles, there was something undeniably special about Messi's presence at PSG. His mere existence on the field brought an aura of greatness, a magnetism that drew attention wherever he went. Yet it wasn't always smooth sailing. Despite some stunning individual performances, PSG's dream of Champions League glory remained elusive, as they fell short year after year. Messi, who had been so accustomed to lifting trophies with Barcelona, now found himself grappling with new challenges. His performances in Ligue 1 were often mixed, and although he continued to be a vital asset to PSG, the club's ambitions were yet to align with his own expectations. As the years passed, Messi's influence at PSG grew. He became more comfortable with the team's style and forged connections with star players like Neymar and Kylian Mbappe. His leadership, though quieter than before, remained ever present. Yet the unspoken truth was clear. Messi was still chasing something bigger than domestic titles and individual glory. he was still yearning for that final piece of his legacy, that elusive Champions League trophy, which had become a shadow that loomed over his illustrious career. But as the 2022 season approached, a new and unforgettable opportunity awaited Messi. A new horizon was on the horizon, one that would shape the final chapters of his career in a way no one could have predicted. The next challenge would test Messi in ways he had never imagined, and in the coming months, his name would once again be immortalized in the history of football. Chapter 10. The World Cup Dream Realized, 2022 to present. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar was the culmination of a lifetime of dreams, hopes, and unspoken sacrifices. For Lionel Messi, this was more than just another tournament. It was the final chapter of a story that had been written in both glory and heartbreak. As captain of Argentina, Messi carried the weight of a nation's dreams on his shoulders, and with every match it became clear that this was his moment, the moment he had waited for his entire career. From the opening match, Messi showcased his brilliance. His every touch, every pass, every dribble exuded the kind of magic that only he could conjure. Argentina, led by Messi, breezed through the group stages and into the knockout rounds. But it was the quarterfinal against the Netherlands that set the stage for an unforgettable journey. In a dramatic match full of tension and emotion, Messi led Argentina to victory, with his involvement in both creating and scoring goals. Yet it was not just his technical prowess that defined him. It was his leadership, his fire, and his determination that inspired his teammates to fight until the very end. The semifinals were another test, but Messi's resilience was unmatched. Against Croatia, Messi once again proved why he was the greatest of his generation, guiding Argentina to a dominant victory. As the final approached, the stakes were higher than ever. Argentina stood face-to-face with France, the defending champions, in a match that would define an era. The final was a spectacle of football, a match that would go down in history as one of the greatest ever played. Argentina, with Messi pulling the strings, surged into a 2-0 lead, but the French, led by the young Kylian Mbappé, were relentless. The match was a roller coaster of emotions as France clawed back to tie the game and send it into extra time. With Messi scoring a penalty and creating key moments, Argentina fought with all their might. And when the final whistle blew, it was Argentina who emerged victorious, 4-2 in a penalty shootout, with Messi at the heart of the celebration. For Messi, the victory was not just about lifting the World Cup, it was about finally silencing the doubts and critics that had followed him throughout his career. It was the crowning achievement, the final piece of his legacy, and a reward for the years of dedication he had given to Argentina. Tears streamed down his face as he held the trophy, the weight of his career's journey lifting in that one unforgettable moment. In that victory, Messi not only secured his place as one of the greatest players of all time, but also solidified his legacy as a leader who had given everything for his country. The World Cup was his, and with it, he had cemented a legacy that would echo through the halls of football history forever. And as the celebrations echoed around the world, Messi knew that while the World Cup had been won, the journey and the impact he had on the sport was far from over. Lionel Messi's journey from a small boy in Rosario to one of the greatest footballers in history is a story of determination, talent, and an unwavering love for the game. His rise from overcoming a growth hormone deficiency to becoming Barcelona's all-time top scorer and leading Argentina to World Cup glory is nothing short of legendary. Along the way, Messi has broken records, won countless titles, and captured the hearts of millions, never losing sight of the humble roots that shaped him. With each triumph, he has redefined greatness, inspiring generations of players and fans around the world. Yet Messi's legacy extends beyond his accolades. It is built on his humility, leadership, and the pure joy he brings to the pitch. A master of his craft, he has become a symbol of excellence, a player whose influence transcends football. As he continues to shape the game both on and off the field, Messi remains an icon whose story will be told for generations to come, a true testament to the power of dreams, resilience, and passion. Lionel Messi has been making waves with Inter Miami, where he now plays and has amassed an incredible career total of 850 goals. This season, Messi played a pivotal role in helping Inter Miami secure their first ever MLS Supporters Shield, topping the league with a record-breaking 74 points. Despite this historic achievement, the team's playoff campaign ended in disappointment with a first-round elimination against Atlanta United, losing 3-2 in a closely contested match at Chase Stadium. Messi's individual performance this season was nothing short of spectacular. In just 24 games, he scored 21 goals and provided 17 assists, showcasing his unmatched skill and influence on the pitch. Although the playoff exit was a setback, Messi's contributions have undeniably elevated Inter Miami to new heights, cementing his status as one of the greatest footballers of all time.
Messi saved by McMahon! Looks for Messi!